Two things that I had to deal with to be able to make a living as a professional psychic, and I hope these help you. People are always asking me, how can I make a living as a professional psychic? Or how can I stop doing what I'm doing and start doing what I love? And I'm always saying, hey, the oracles say try this or try that or try that. But the one thing I usually don't talk about, or I don't think I ever have talked about on this station, is how we sometimes have to do things that we don't want to do in order to get what we really want. There were two things that have stood in my way of being successful in this business and actually in so many things in my life that I have had to deal with again and again and again and constantly work on. One, my pride, and two, a difficulty in communicating. When I was a kid, I was extremely shy, and I had a very difficult time expressing myself and expressing what was going on inside of me. Because of that, I found myself in situations when I was in school and growing up that were extremely humiliating again and again and again, which hit me in my pride. So that made it harder for me to communicate, which humiliated me more, which put me in a situation where my pride sort of grew, got out of control. So as I got older, I was very lucky. I met a woman who suggested when I was in high school that I go into theater. And when I went into the theater, I found a way to express myself. And at that time, I also started writing, and I found a way to express myself, and I started to work on communicating. At the same time, people started to be drawn to me because I was expressing myself, and that hit me in my pride the other way. It made my pride go up. As I got older and I went into the arts and I went into college and I became a college teacher, well, I gotta tell you, academia is about nothing but pride. So when I hear people talking about academics this or academics say that, I know from experience that world is ruled by pride. When I finally walked away from all of that and I wanted to do this for a living, I had all of this pride and I was still struggling to learn to communicate, and those were the two things that were the hardest for me to deal with in working to become a hypnotist and working to be a professional psychic. And even now, today, as I work on people's charts, there's a section of the Tibetan bond chart where I write the person's perfect life story. And I write it as a story, and it takes me a while because I still struggle with communication. And I've written 9 books, and I've hit the hot new releases on Amazon with my novels. I still struggle with communication. One of the hardest things I had to face when I first started working with people was I would start laying out the cards and I would tell them exactly what I saw, and I was like, this is it and this is how it's got to be. Now, this is a tricky business because as it is, people want to attack people who are in the business as being frauds or fakes or whatever, so that hits you in the pride. And it's real easy when you got your pride up to go on the attack. And sometimes when you're dealing with clients and you hit them in a sensitive place, they'll freak out, and it can hit you it can cause problems if you let your pride get in the way. Or people can say that's not going on, even though you see it is going on, and then your pride can get you to do something stupid or say something stupid or be pig-headed, because pig-headedness is a big side effect of pride. I gotta say that these two challenges have been the bane of my relationships, the bane of my business, the bane of my existence. But there was something that I realized as when I finally found a path, a spiritual path that really started to help me transform myself and to become something bigger. I realized that this pride, this difficulty I have communication, and even that shyness that I came in the world with, they were all mine. and I'm the one that has to deal with them, no one else. So I could say, well, people, made my life difficult, people were challenging me, but that's a cop-out. Because this business is a business where you have to be sensitive to people. And sometimes it's really hard when you feel people's stuff. You want to put up a wall, or sometimes it's hard when you say, hey, this is what's going on, and people want to challenge you, you want to defend. Those get in the way so fast. And they get in the way with anything we want to do. If you're an artist, if you want to be a businessman, no matter what it is, pride and a difficulty in communication can really get in your way and sabotage your world. So it's really important if you want to do these things. And you have this problem, and believe me, I understand how important it is. Pride says, well, I should just be drawing clients. I should just be there. I should. There's a lot of I shoulds. And if you find yourself saying, well, I should have, it's probably your pride. And believe me, I understand it's not an easy thing to deal with. Because usually that wall we put up with pride is hiding insecurity, sensitivity, shyness, self-doubt. And it makes it real difficult to communicate effectively when those things are going on. But this is the best advice I can give you. When you find something like this, and for you, it may be your pride, it may be a difficulty in communicating. One of the biggest things I had to go through was not worrying about being right as a psychic, but being sensitive to what the person needed. And it was not something I wanted to have to face, the fact that I was so concerned with being right. But the more I continue to work on those things, the more successful it makes me as an individual, in my business, and the more it enables me to help other people. So sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do, but they're the key to unlocking really everything we want. And when we approach life that way, those things can become our treasure. Now, I have not wanted to talk about this. I've known it's a thing my whole life, but I feel like at this point, if I let this out there, it could become a treasure to help other people. So please let me know if this helped you. And please let me know what other questions you have about going into, your own business or becoming a professional psychic. Maybe I can help. I'm Lucky Links. As always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. If you guys would like a reading from me, 779-302-8009 or ContraHope@gmail.com.